Cass Elliot was undoubtedly the standout member of the Mamas and the Papas, thanks to her unique and powerful singing voice. Born Ellen Naomi Cohen in 1941 in Maryland, she surprised everyone by becoming a music sensation. You Discover Music recounts how Elliot acquired her nickname in high school and abandoned her acting dreams to pursue a career in singing. By the early 1960s, she had already been a part of several bands, such as Triumvirate and the Mugwumps, before achieving fame with the Mamas and the Papas. Cass Elliot was known as the Queen of LA Pop Society by Rolling Stone. She was known for partying with top musicians and having a carefree presence on stage. Despite her posthumous induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the Mamas and the Papas in 1998, her real life was filled with heartbreak, struggles as a single mother, weight issues, and even a frightening encounter with the Manson family. Fame came with a price for Elliot, leading to her untimely death in 1974. Well then, join us today as we dig deep into some tragic facts you didn't know about Cass Elliot. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more videos, and tell us in the comments section who you would like to hear from next time. Cass Elliot was performing with the Mugwumps when she crossed paths with fellow musician Denny Doherty, who then introduced her to John and Michelle Phillips, as reported by You Discover Music. The trio was in the process of forming a band, and Elliot expressed her desire to be a part of it. Additionally, she had developed feelings for Doherty, although he was unable to handle the situation, as mentioned in The Atlantic. The band shared the same sentiment. It was difficult for anyone to imagine Cass Elliot sharing the stage with the stunning Michelle Phillips. John Phillips, in particular, was concerned that Elliot's appearance would not appeal to their audience, according to biography. Despite the doubts, Elliot remained resolute in her decision to join the band and committed herself to following them wherever they went. Rolling Stone reported that Michelle recalled Elliot's behavior of constantly following us. Everywhere we went, it turned into a sadomasochistic game. Elliot showed dedication by taking on various tasks, such as waitressing at the nightclub and rehearsing with the group during breaks. After being expelled from St. Thomas for drug-related issues, as mentioned by the Baltimore Sun, the band found themselves broke and sought refuge at Elliot's residence in Los Angeles. It was only at that point that she was permitted to become a member of the band. An article published in 1941 confirmed that children can develop obesity due to slow metabolism or hormonal deficiency, as reported by The Guardian. Cass Elliot herself once disclosed, "I have been overweight since the age of 7, and being overweight sets you apart." It is worth noting that her parents were employed at an ice cream fountain, as indicated in the 1950 census. Additionally, they had a fondness for opera, and Elliot's mother was skilled in playing the piano. During her upbringing, Elliot received piano lessons and acquired guitar playing skills, as stated in the encyclopedia. In high school, she actively participated in the choir and also showcased her talent in the school's theater productions. Cass Elliot, following her high school years, tried out for roles in Broadway shows in New York. It was only after losing a part to Barbra Streisand, a rising star at the time, that Elliot made the decision to pursue a career in singing, as reported by Bustle. Regardless of her location, Elliot always carried herself with elegance. Despite being overweight, she exuded the confidence of a beauty queen, stated her former manager, Bobby Roberts. However, it was evident that Elliot felt uneasy. In 1969, she penned an article for Good Housekeeping, where she revealed that her weight served as an excuse to avoid competing with other women. Despite their hit songs such as California Dreamin' and Monday Monday, which earned them a Grammy Award in 1967, the Mamas and the Papas were typical musicians of their era. John Phillips later revealed to Rolling Stone that their first experience with acid was a shared one. This would not be their only encounter with drugs. Michelle Phillips recalled that during their time in the Virgin Islands, the group limited their drug use to psychedelics and alcohol. As reported by the Baltimore Sun, thankfully, cocaine was not present, as it would have hindered their productivity. As highlighted by The Atlantic, prior to achieving fame, the group indulged in acid, marijuana, and alcohol. Even after their rise to stardom, their drug and alcohol consumption remained consistent. Subsequently, there were instances of heartbreak, beginning with Michelle engaging in a relationship with Denny Doherty. This action clearly upset Cass Elliot, leading her to confront Michelle. Cass expressed her disappointment by saying, "You have the opportunity to be with any man you desire. Why choose the one man I care for?" Despite this betrayal, Cass managed to find it in her heart to forgive her fellow band member. Michelle later went on to have romantic involvements with Gene Clark from the Byrds, along with several of John's acquaintances. During the 1960s, fat shaming was a prevalent issue that affected many individuals, including Cass Elliot. Eddie Fiegel highlights how her weight directly impacted her love life, as both Denny Doherty and Pick Dawson rejected her advances. Pick Dawson, a smuggler, feared that being involved with Elliot would lead to her being unfaithful. Even in present times, Elliot's size continues to be a popular topic of discussion. Although Elliot appeared unfazed by her size, John Phillips recalled her hesitance to perform on stage alongside Michelle Phillips. In 1967, Elliot made headlines for reasons unrelated to her appearance when she was arrested. She was charged with stealing keys and blankets from a hotel during a previous visit to London. However, Musicaholics reveals that the UK police were also concerned about Elliot's association with Pick Dawson, regardless of the casual nature of their relationship. Fortunately, the band had prior knowledge of Elliot's impending arrest, including her evasion of a hotel bill, and disposed of their drugs before arriving in Southampton. Elliot spent a night in jail before the charges against her were eventually dropped. It was one thing to exhibit unkindness and disrespect towards Cass Elliot, such as the instance in 1967 when the Mamas and the Papas hit Creek Alley, featured the offensive line, "No one's getting fat except Mama Cass." Now, in 1968, Encyclopedia reports that John and Michelle's marriage was deteriorating. Ultimate Classic Rock states that Cass could also perceive the band losing its focus. John Phillips openly acknowledged that Cass had a different perspective on show business. Despite assuring viewers on The Ed Sullivan Show that they were not disbanding, the group disbanded by July. For Cass Elliot, this breakup marked a fresh start. In October, she spoke to Rolling Stone about the exceptional talent of artists like Eric Clapton, David Crosby, Joni Mitchell, Stephen Stills, and others who frequented her home. "Music thrives in my household, and that brings me joy," she expressed. However, Elliot's journey as a solo singer would prove challenging, and amidst releasing several solo albums, a profoundly distressing and tragic incident would thrust her into the spotlight in a devastating manner. Cass Elliot experienced a taste of solo success with her 1968 hit, "Dream a Little Dream of Me," as reported by You Discover Music. Her debut album of the same name led to a booking at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. According to Eddie Fiegel, Elliot's contract specified that she could bring Owen along. However, juggling time between Owen and rehearsals proved challenging. Despite having a fever, Elliot took the stage on opening night with Sammy Davis Jr. and Jimi Hendrix in attendance. Ultimate Classic Rock confirms that her show ended after just 2 performances. In 1969, Elliot released her next album, Bubblegum, Lemonade, and Something for Mama. Yet, she continued to struggle with the societal stigma of being a single mother supporting her child in the 1960s, as noted by Next Tribe. After a failed reunion album with the Mamas and the Papas, Elliot made the decision to leave the band for good, according to Biography. Far Out magazine confirms that she chose to focus on her solo career with determination. Additionally, she married Baron Donald von Wiedemann, but the marriage ended in divorce. The Aiken Standard newspaper reported in February 1972 that Elliot had filed for divorce. According to the Cass Elliot website, the singer wed twice between 1963 and 1971. Her first husband was Jim Hendrix. Ancestry verifies the couple was united in marriage at Fairfax, Virginia. By 1967, the couple had split, according to Courthouse News, when Cass gave birth to her only child, a daughter named Owen. At the time, unwed mothers were highly frowned upon. So Cass kept both her pregnancy and the name of Owen's father a secret, says Next Tribe. "She wanted me more than anything else in the world," she told people that, Owen told the magazine. Why did Cass Elliot remain so secretive about her daughter? "She named me Owen because I was her own," Owen says. "She was responsible for 100% of my welfare. She also remained as close to her daughter as she could, and was uneasy when Owen grew too close to her nannies." After Cass died, Vanity Fair confirms that her sister, Leah Kunkel, continued raising Owen. But it was Michelle Phillips who found Owen's father. In 1987, according to Encyclopedia, Michelle called Owen. "I found your dad," she said. "Here's a plane ticket. Go meet him." Not surprisingly, Owen's father was indeed Jim Hendricks. On July 30th, 1974, the Daily News in Pennsylvania was among the many newspapers that reported the death of Cass Elliot after a concert in London. The Santa Cruz Sentinel mentioned that Elliot's secretary, Dot McLeod, discovered the star sitting up in her bed at an apartment in London, with a ham sandwich nearby. Various newspapers then circulated different rumors about how Elliot had actually passed away. The Guardian even mentioned some bizarre stories, such as death through a strange FBI conspiracy, giving birth to John Lennon's love child, and choking on her own vomit. Fans and others spent weeks speculating about Cass Elliot's death, with the sandwich story gaining traction, although Hartz clarifies that it was merely speculation by the first doctor who examined the body before the autopsy. The Albuquerque Journal reported that a pathology report confirmed the absence of drugs or alcohol in the singer's system, and that she had eaten very little in her final hours. While the world tried to make sense of the situation, Elliot's body was sent back to California, and she was laid to rest in Mount Sinai Memorial Park in Hollywood Hills. Her family, including Owen, attended the funeral. As Cass Elliot was laid to rest in California, the speculations surrounding the cause of her death persisted as details emerged. As reported by You Discover Music, Elliot had recently completed a 2-week engagement at the London Palladium. On Sunday, July 28th, Rolling Stone disclosed that she attended a party hosted by Mick Jagger, but refrained from consuming any alcohol. She left the gathering early. The residence she was residing in belonged to fellow singer Harry Nilsson. George Caldwell, Elliot's road manager, was also staying there. Despite various individuals coming in and out of the apartment on July 29th, they all assumed Elliot was simply resting. Sue Cameron, a reporter for The Hollywood Reporter at the time, informed People magazine that she contacted Elliot's apartment upon learning of her passing. The call was answered by the singer's manager, Alan Carr, who urgently instructed Cameron to report that Elliot had passed away due to choking on a ham sandwich found on the nightstand. However, as revealed by Vogue magazine's Emma Spector, the official autopsy report released weeks later indicated that Elliot had actually succumbed to fatty myocardial degeneration due to obesity. Carr expressed his gratitude to Cameron for publishing the sandwich-related story, stating, "I was attempting to preserve her reputation,